3 bullets. That's all it took for Stephanie Marsh to realize the man she married wanted her dead. April 22nd, 2023, Portland, Oregon. 8:47 p.m. The gun was still warm when Kevin dialed 911. My wife. Oh God, my wife's been shot. Someone broke in. Please, she's bleeding everywhere. Kevin's voice cracked through the operator's headset. Panicked, desperate, the perfect performance. What the operator couldn't see, the same dish towel Stephanie used after dinner, now wrapped around a 9mm Glock, hidden beneath the sink. 8:52 p.m. Sirens shattered the silence of Laurelhurst. Paramedics found Stephanie in the hallway. She'd been crawling. 3 gunshot wounds, right shoulder, left lung, lower abdomen. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't moving. She was drowning in her own blood. Kevin met the paramedics at the door, hair disheveled, eyes wide. I was in the garage. I heard shots. I ran inside and found her like this. But the front door was locked from the inside. The alarm never triggered. No broken windows. No forced entry. Stephanie's purse sat on the counter, untouched, $140 cash inside, her phone charging by the bed. Kevin claimed the intruder took jewelry, but the jewelry box sat on the dresser, closed, undisturbed. Detective Jason arrived at 9:13 p.m. The gunshot pattern, tight cluster, close range. Whoever shot Stephanie stood less than 6 feet away. Zan Kevin's timeline had a 7-minute gap. 7 minutes between when neighbors heard gunshots and when he called 911. Long enough to hide a gun. Long enough to wash your hands. Stephanie's mother, Rosa, burst through the doors, hands shaking, mascara streaming. Kevin sat in the waiting room, head in his hands. The grieving husband. 10:47 p.m., Dr. Catherine Wells emerged, blood on her gloves. She lost 40% of her blood. The next 48 hours are critical. If she survives tonight, there's a chance. Rosa sobbed. Kevin walked to the window, stared at the parking lot, and here's what Detective Jason noticed. Kevin's face was completely dry. No tears, no red eyes. Just a man waiting, not for his wife to survive, for something else entirely. On the mantle in their home sat a single photo. Kevin and Stephanie, 4 years ago, Cannon Beach. They looked happy, but photos lie, because that photo didn't show the $47,000 gambling debt Kevin hid, the affair with his personal trainer that started 3 months ago, the $400,000 life insurance policy he convinced Stephanie to sign in March, the policy that would pay double if she died violently. Photos freeze moments, but they don't capture intent, and Kevin's intent was always clear. Stephanie was worth more dead than alive. When someone you love is dying, your body betrays you. Your hands shake. Your voice cracks. Tears fall without permission. So when Kevin stood in that hospital while his wife fought for her life 3 floors above, why wasn't he crying? What was he waiting for? And how long had he been planning this? Welcome to Compass True Crime Stories. Kindly support and encourage us by subscribing to this channel as we continue to keep you entertained with new true crime stories around the world on a daily basis. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next interesting and chilling true crime story. 3 months earlier, Stephanie was nominated for Teacher of the Year. Kevin's response? That's great. I'm in a meeting. February 3rd. Kevin's promotion at Cascade Capital Group went to someone else. He came home silent. When Stephanie asked about his day, he snapped, "You teach kids to finger paint. I'm trying to build a career. It's not the same." February 18th. Stephanie was organizing the mail when she found the envelope. Credit card statement from a company she didn't recognize. She opened it. Balance $12,347.82. Minimum payment overdue. $340 late fees. $80. Her hands went cold. When Kevin got home, she was sitting at the kitchen table. Statement in front of her. "What is this?" He glanced at it, shrugged. "Just some expenses. I've got it handled." Handled? Kevin, we're 2 months behind on the mortgage. You said we were tight until your bonus came through. We are tight. That's why I've been picking up extra hours. Extra hours where? You're never home. His eyes narrowed. I'm working, trying to keep us afloat. Maybe if you worked full-time instead of part-time, we wouldn't be in this position. Stephanie taught 4 days a week. The schedule gave her time to grade, plan lessons, meet with struggling students after hours. She wasn't part-time by choice. She was part-time because she cared about doing her job well. I make $48,000 a year, she said quietly. That's not nothing. It's not enough. He left the room. Stephanie sat there staring at the bill, wondering when her husband became someone she didn't recognize. What she didn't know, the debt wasn't from expenses. It was from offshore sports betting sites. Kevin had lost $31,000 over 6 months, and he had no plan to stop. March. Kevin started staying late, 4 nights a week. Big project, he'd say. Stephanie noticed things. The way he showered immediately when he got home. The way he angled his phone away. New cologne, March 22nd. Kevin came home with life insurance paperwork, $400,000 each. If something happens, we need protection. Stephanie signed. She trusted him. That was her mistake. April 24th, 48 hours after the shooting, Detective Jason pulled Kevin's financials. 3 months of cash withdrawals, $8,500 total, always near Elite Fitness in Northwest Portland. Gym security footage showed Kevin meeting the same woman every visit. Vanessa Cole, personal trainer. They left together, multiple occasions, same car. Jason ran Vanessa's address, Northwest Portland. 10 minutes from the gym, he cross-referenced timestamps. March 12th, Kevin and Vanessa left gym at 7:43 p.m. Kevin's phone pinged off a cell tower near her apartment at 8:02 p.m. Stayed there until 10:37 p.m. March 19th, same pattern. March 26th, same pattern. April 2nd, same pattern. This wasn't a trainer-client relationship. This was an affair. Jason brought Vanessa in voluntarily. No arrest, just questions. She arrived in Lululemon leggings and an oversized hoodie. No makeup. Nervous. I'm not in trouble, right? That depends on what you tell me, Jason said. He showed her the security footage. Her face went pale. It's not what it looks like. Then explain it, she exhaled. We were seeing each other, but it was casual. He said his marriage was over, that they were separating. When did this start? January. He signed up for training sessions. We clicked. It just happened. Jason slid a printout across the table. Phone records. You texted Jason 247 times in April alone. That's not casual. Vanessa stared at the paper. Look, I didn't know he was going to. I had nothing to do with what happened to his wife. I never said you did. Silence. But you knew something, didn't you? Vanessa's hands shook. He talked about her sometimes, said she didn't understand him, that she was holding him back, that he felt trapped. Trapped how? Financially, emotionally. He said she'd never agree to a divorce, that her family was Catholic, that she'd make his life hell if he tried to leave. Jason leaned forward. Did he ever talk about wanting her gone? Not directly, but what? She pulled out her phone, scrolled, showed him a text. Kevin, what if there was another way? Would you wait for me? Vanessa, what do you mean? Kevin, just hypothetically, if things changed, if I was free, would you still be here? Vanessa, you're scaring me. Kevin, don't be scared. I'm just thinking out loud. April 15th, 1 week before Stephanie was shot. April 22nd, 8:51 p.m. 4 minutes after calling 911, Kevin called Vanessa. Kevin, it's done. Don't contact me for a while. April 23rd, 9:14 a.m. While Stephanie was in surgery, Kevin called Platinum Life Insurance. Kevin, my wife was shot. She's in critical condition. I wanted to know, how long does the claims process take? Agent, we need a death certificate first, then 30 to 45 days. Kevin, and the double indemnity, that applies if she dies from the shooting? Agent, yes. The payout would be $800,000. Kevin didn't ask about Stephanie. He asked about money, while she was still alive. Kevin called the insurance company while surgeons were cracking open Stephanie's chest. He didn't ask if she'd survive. He asked when he'd get paid. How long do you have to hate someone to plan their murder this carefully? And how many dinners did they share while he was counting down the days? Stephanie spent 40 days in a medically induced coma. Rosa never left. She held Stephanie's hand, whispered prayers, played jazz music. Kevin's visits became less frequent. April 26th, 15 minutes. May 9th. Didn't show. May 8th, 2:34 a.m. Hospital security footage captured Kevin entering Stephanie's room alone. He stood by her IV line, hand hovering over the connection port. 43 seconds. A nurse entered. Kevin, startled, stepped back, claimed he was praying. The nurse filed an incident report. Potential tampering attempt. Kevin wasn't visiting his wife. He was checking if the job was finished. June 4th, 2023. Stephanie's eyes opened. Rosa was reading a student's card. "Mija, can you hear me?" Dr. Wells removed the breathing tube. Stephanie gasped. "What happened?" Her memory was fragmented, pieces missing. June 6th. Kevin visited. The moment he entered, Stephanie's heart rate spiked. 142 BPM, then 158. A nurse asked him to leave. The second he left, Stephanie's heart rate dropped to 98. June 15th. Detective Jason interviewed Stephanie. Slowly, the memory returned. "We argued about money. I went to grade papers. Then I heard a sound, a click. I turned around and Kevin was standing there, with a gun." Stephanie's voice broke. "I didn't understand at first. I thought maybe someone had broken in, that he was protecting me. But he was pointing it at me." Jason stayed silent. Let her speak. "I said his name. I asked him what he was doing, and he just looked at me, like I was a problem he was solving." "Did he say anything?" Stephanie nodded. The words came slowly, painfully. "He said, 'I'm sorry, but you're worth more to me this way.'" The room went silent. "And then he pulled the trigger." Stephanie sobbed. Rosa rushed to her side, held her. Jason stood, gave them space, but his jaw was clenched. He had the confession from the victim herself. Kevin didn't just try to kill her, he told her why. July 14th, 2023. Cascade Capital Group. 2:30 p.m. Kevin sat in his cubicle, reviewing spreadsheets, acting like his world wasn't about to collapse. Detective Jason entered with 2 uniformed officers. The office went silent. "Kevin Marsh?" Kevin looked up, smiled. "Detective, is there news about Stephanie?" "Stand up." The smile faded. "What?" "Kevin Marsh, you're under arrest for the attempted murder of Stephanie Marsh, conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and assault with a deadly weapon." Kevin's co-workers stared. Phones came out. Recording. "This is insane. I didn't..." Jason didn't let him finish. Cuffs clicked into place. "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law." Kevin's face went red. "I want my lawyer." "You'll get one." They walked him through the office, past the cubicles, past the conference rooms where he'd spent years pretending to care about quarterly projections. Outside, news cameras were already there. Someone had tipped them off. Kevin tried to hide his face. Too late. By 5 p.m., his photo was on every Portland news station. "Local finance manager arrested for attempted murder of wife." The comments flooded in. "I hope she survives to see him rot." "Death penalty, nothing less." "Men like this don't deserve to breathe." Public opinion had already convicted him. The trial would just make it official. January 29th, 2024. The jury deliberated 6 hours. On the count of attempted murder, how do you find the defendant? Guilty. Kevin was sentenced to 30 years, but with good behavior and parole eligibility, he could be out in 20. As bailiffs led him past Stephanie, he stopped, looked at her. "You were supposed to die. 30 years. But Stephanie did the math. Kevin could be eligible for parole in 2 decades. He'd be 55, she'd be 52. While she'd spend the rest of her life with scars and nightmares, he'd get a second chance. It didn't feel like justice. It felt like a delay. Stephanie tried to rebuild, returned to teaching part-time, attended therapy twice weekly. But the nightmares got worse. She stopped sleeping, started researching, Oregon State Penitentiary visiting hours, security protocols, good behavior sentence reductions. She wasn't healing. She was planning. June 18th, 2024. Stephanie's friend called. Kevin's sister posted on Facebook. His appeal is in progress. Stephanie looked it up. Appeal filed May 28th. Legal experts gave it a 15% chance of success. 15%. That number consumed her. With good behavior, Kevin's 30 years could become 21. Parole at 20. The injustice ate at her. Stephanie stopped talking to her therapist about revenge. Started lying instead. She researched dark web marketplaces. Bought a tactical knife. 4-inch blade. Untraceable. She practiced at home when Rosa was at church. July 28th. Stephanie told Rosa she needed a wellness retreat in Bend to clear my head. She didn't drive to Bend. She drove to Salem. August 2nd, 2024. Oregon State Penitentiary. Stephanie wore colored contacts, a blonde wig, handed over a fake ID, Sarah Brennan. Conjugal visit, I'm reconciling with my husband. The guard approved it. Room 7, 3:47 p.m. Kevin walked in, confused. Stephanie removed the wig. Kevin's face went white. Stephanie? Surprised? He lunged for the emergency button. Stephanie moved faster. The knife found flesh. Once, twice, 3 times, mirroring the bullets he'd put in her. Kevin collapsed, gasping, choking on his own blood. Stephanie stood over him, just like he'd stood over her. She felt nothing. If someone tried to kill you, failed, and the law gave them a chance to try again someday, would you wait for that day to come, or would you make sure it never could? August 3rd, Kevin died at 4:47 a.m. Stephanie was charged with first-degree murder. DA Daniel Gary. Kevin Marsh was serving his sentence. He posed no threat. This was revenge, not defense. The public divided. Free Stephanie trended. 47,000 tweets in 6 hours. Stephanie's students held vigils. But the school board placed her on leave. Bail denied. Stephanie was held at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility. November 4th, 2024. The trial began. Prosecution. She planned it for weeks, created a fake ID, smuggled a weapon. This is premeditated murder. Defense. Stephanie Marsh has PTSD so severe she couldn't sleep. When she learned Kevin might get out early, her trauma made rational thought impossible. Stephanie testified, I planned it. I executed it because the alternative was spending the rest of my life as his victim. Do you regret it? I regret that it came to this. But do I regret that Kevin can't hurt me anymore? No. November 22nd, the jury deliberated 14 hours. On the charge of first-degree murder, how do you find the defendant? Not guilty by reason of temporary insanity. The gallery erupted, half cheered, half shouted in outrage. Judge Chang ordered mandatory psychiatric treatment for 3 years. Weapon prohibition, no contact with the Marsh family. You're free to go. Stephanie walked out. Free. But not really. You just watched a woman survive 3 bullets in a system that couldn't protect her. Right now, someone watching this is in a relationship that feels wrong. Someone's ignoring red flags. Don't let this be background noise. Subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. The comment section is open. Where do you draw the line between justice and revenge? Stephanie is free, but she'll never be free. She carries scars no verdict can heal. If you'd spent 16 months watching your attacker's sentence shrink, reliving your attempted murder every night, would you have done it differently? Or would you have done exactly what Stephanie did? What does your answer say about you? Thank you for watching to the end, and see you in our next episode of Compass True Crime Stories. Stay safe.